Let's talk a little bit about your Philadelphia 76ers. I look at the standings, and they're 27-54. And frankly, my thought when I look at those numbers is, how did they get to 27? I mean, what has gone wrong, and what can be done about it? Gordy, work with me.
That's the $64,000 question. I mean, they won 27, and it's a miracle that they won 27. It's like the line in Bull Durham. How do we ever win 80?
Exactly.
So, I mean, I think we can concede that Eddie Jordan is gone, that the whole Princeton offense thing didn't work out quite well.
Right.
But they're also just a horrible defensive team. And the third thing is, we can now attest to the value of Andre Miller and how he dragged these guys to heights that they
really
obviously couldn't achieve by themselves. I mean, the argument when Eddie Jordan came in was, well, we don't need a pure point guard. We can play with a two-guard front in the Princeton offense. Well, that's obviously been a bunch of bunk. I mean, obviously, Andre Miller was a very valuable guy. Now, that said, I don't know if you can kill the Sixers about that move, because Andre Miller, I don't think, wanted to be here anymore either.
And without him, we might not know who Drew Holiday is.
Right, and I think Drew Holiday will be a pretty good player, but, I mean, so maybe they pick 7th in the draft. I mean, what does that get you? I mean, I've seen mock drafts where they projected to take a European guy, and a guy I never heard of. And I also saw a mock draft where they pick a guy like Ed Davis from Carolina. Does that do anything for you?
Good God, no. And this illustrates, the Sixers seriously illustrate how hard it is to get better in this league.
Right.
I mean, I can't kill Ed Stefanski for going out and getting Elton Brand, but that was a disaster.
That was the move, though. That was the move.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was a great move at the time, but, I mean, obviously that wasn't the move.
Yeah, and that was a big, you can't blame him for trying it, but it was a big, could not have worked out much worse than it has.
Yeah.
And, I mean, remember, 2 years ago, this team had a winning record, went to the playoffs, looked like, hey, if we just get a guy that they can throw it into on the post, they're coming on. They're going to be a player. And they went out and supposedly got that guy, a guy who was reasonable to think would be that guy.
Yeah,
and
he's just, I mean, it's like you can't, it just goes to show you can't trust good stats on bad teams.
That is a very good point.
Yeah,
we really have seen that with the Sixers.
Yeah, I mean, Elton Brand put up great numbers for bad teams, and he's obviously not the guy you can build around.
On a bad NBA team, that doesn't mean somebody isn't going to get the shots and somebody isn't going to score the points, and that doesn't necessarily mean anything. So I guess our overarching message here, Gordy, is if you're a Sixers fan, there's no hope. There's no hope.
We want to bring pro basketball back to Philly, but we just don't know how they're going to do it.
There you go.